And basically the idea of power law is that when a certain quantity is distributed among some population, it tends to be distributed to the people with this formula: 1 divided by n, which means that n is the ordinal of how many you are in a certain population. So if we make this like that, we have that number 1 that has like certain thing. If we assume that he has like 100 of it, because it's 1 divided by 1, times 100 in this case, so it has 100. So number 2, because you divide 1 by 2, it means that he has half of it. Number 3 has approximately 1/4 of it. Then when you go down and down and down, number 10 has approximately 1/10 of it. So here we use 100 times because we can't use these figures. The one who is the 100th in this, let's call it rich list, he has 1 unit of it, and the 1000 has 0.1 unit of it. And this is a thing that you should pay attention to, because this is one of the most important principles how the world, the natural world, and also this, let's call it social world, is operating. That when, let's take it, let's name anything, let's say our collective skill in music, for instance. Typically, when we ask, like any kind of this thing, when we try to start grading, like which one of us truly has a passion for music, an interest in music and so on, it typically happens that the one who has the most of it is approximately twice as prominent as the second one, thrice as prominent as the third one. And when there is like a big population of people, let's say the whole of Helsinki, for instance, like the ones who are still in the musical scene in Helsinki, like the 1,000th most prominent musicians, their like, you know, skill in music is only a fraction of what it is with the rock stars, the, you know, the actual ones who are world famous for being in music. And then when we go to the, you know, who has the least capacity for music, it is here in like the talent of these people in music, even combined. If you take 1 million people of this level of talent in music, you just cannot match one rock star. Music was an example, but money is another example. Show me the money. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's enough for showing. Now I'm only asking you guys, and I'm not naming names here, I'm just asking approximately, and Eero will tell me which one is more instructive, to use euro or Glee as the
both, because Glee for taking money and euro for giving money.
Alright, so how much do you have in your pocket?
Pocket, nothing but
just tell me, the important thing, yeah, but with you.
How much you want is my question.
No, I'm testing out whether this power law thing even is true or not. So how much do you carry with you in physical paper currency form? Total.
value some thousands of euros.
How many?
Let me check. 2,600 euros and some maybe 10 million or something.
Okay, 10 million please. So let's call it 4,000 in
About
euros.
5 to 10 million.
Okay, so 4,000.
I have 3 million. Three.
Everybody calculate how many euros
2 million,
of value you have.
200 euros.
How
2
many?
million, 2 million, 200 euros.
Please, you make the conversion. How many euros total is calculated, translated to euros here?
500.
500. Okay.
400.
So,
I'm still counting.
okay, you.
550.
Rafa.
450.
57. 57. Okay.
Camera guy.
Roughly 400 euros.
It's like 1.6 in euros.
Okay.
470 euros.
18 million.
And anything in euros? Oh, actually, I think I already put you at 4,000. And then I must just like quickly check mine. 7, 8, 9, 10 million. That comes to 12 million. 12 million glee is 2,000 euros, and then I have 3,000, 4,000 euros.
19 million.
So, when we, how many are we? We are here. Can't we have one more guy? Somebody didn't say Saki.
1900. Yeah, 1900.
Alright, so. That is rank. Then we have expected value of euros and actual value of euros. And the rank is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So because the largest amount that we had is 4,000, so it means that the expected value, we calibrate the scale so that the expected value of the first position was 4,000. And the last position obviously is 400, right? Because when we continue this calculation, like this. So then we start like putting these monetary values here, 4,000, 4,000, 1916. 550, 500. Four 70, 450, 450, 400. Okay, then to make this easier to understand for you guys, we make a diagram that says the amount of euros in thousands is here is 4, 2,000, 1,000, and this is half. And then we make that number 1 is here, which makes number 2 be here, number 3 is right here, 5, 7, 9, and number 10. Then we make a curve using black pen, which is in expected was this black curve, so we plot the points. it was expected that the monetary balances in people's pockets would follow power law because I said so. And now we see whether it in fact was true or whether I was speaking bullshit. Because this is the actual balances that you told me. So the first one was of course 4,000 because you know this one was fixed. I mean I didn't make any forecasting here. I fixed the expected first place to correspond to the actual first place. But all the other things were measured from our, you know, the natural distribution of money. I didn't tell you, or maybe I did, but let's get to that later. The second place was 4,000. Then it was 1.9, 1.6, 550, 5, and so on. So, like, this is now the actual distribution of money in our pockets. So, what do you think, guys?
You increase the number of people, you will eventually make exactly the expected graph.
Yeah, and there might be outliers in the top end and the bottom end. There are also some mathematical things, but like the main point here is that the understanding of power law is seriously a important topic, and the law itself is seriously simple. Why is this important? For instance, a corollary of power law is that if there is any population, there is somebody, if there is a population and if there is any measurable trait, there is somebody who has the most of it. And typically, in this case, not exactly, because we had two who had approximately the same amount, but it is more often somebody has like a great deal more of it, so that there is a clear leader in some trait. So what makes this important is that when you're thinking of fulfilling the missions, typically to fulfill the mission you need something, right? So it makes sense to go find that something from somebody who has it. I mean, it doesn't sound like two rocket scientists here, but if we consider the examples how the world operates, for instance, charities, they target to get money from people who don't have it. I mean, they are going to the streets to find the people who are walking down the streets, and they try to eke out like amounts of €1 or €10 or like a monthly payment of €5 to pay for some, you know, deserving project. But that doesn't make sense, because there are people in the world who have the money. So if money is what you need, you should go to the people who have it. So who have the money in this room? Yeah. So let that sink in for a while. Let's do the breathing exercise again, and while you concentrate your breathing, concentrate also the implications of this. Because I tell you guys, I have studied this power law for approximately almost 7 years. I started it in 2013. I found it from my experience. I didn't even know the name for it. In Finnish it's called potenssilaki. I didn't know how closely it relates to everything, and when you are making forecasts about like what happens in some in some system or some population, or if you're making plans about how to harness a population to do like your end goals or anything, you can use this to quite an advantage, because often what people think is that the numbers that what counts is the number of people doing something. as if the people were uniform, but in fact they are never uniform. What is natural among like any trait amongst any people or any like anything is that it is distributed very unevenly, and the exact uneven distribution is called power law, and it looks like this. So when you're planning operations, when you have received a mission or set yourself up for a mission, all the critical how to say inputs for the mission are unevenly distributed among people. Okay, this is theoretical way of saying that when you want to get shit done, you need the right people for the task. So, okay, let's take an example mission here. If I would like to have a 500 euro banknote in my hand, now, what would you guys do if this was your mission? I'm not giving it right now, I want you to stay here and just think about it. Yes?
I would run to a bank and exchange one.
They're not available.
Yeah, that's the difference. Earlier that would have been a good idea, but right now the banks don't have them anymore. Or actually they do, but they don't give them to you. They made a rule that 200 is the biggest note that they are putting into circulation.
So you need to find someone who has them still and convince them, perhaps for a high premium, to sell theirs.
eBay.
I believe you have one of those. I would make a deal with you that I give you half of the profit of the mission if you loan the bill.
That's a valid one. Because the reason I'm talking about this relative to power law is that now you see more clearly that to fulfill this kind of mission, it doesn't matter how many poor people you approach on the streets, because the poor people don't have big fives in their pockets, because even the banks don't give them anymore. So you first need to identify the types of people who have like cash balances. And then you need to focus your efforts on those that have most of it. So if this happened some time ago, it would be more than likely that the people who have 4,000 in their pocket in fact do have 500s among them. Does anybody have a 500? No, right now we don't. But on the other hand, people who have less than 500 in total in their pocket, they obviously don't have them. So, so focusing on the, let's say, cohort or segment of the population who is most likely to be helpful for you in fulfilling the mission is crucial. Because if you would ask to get, let's put it this way, can I have 1 cent, 1 euro cent in my when I get 1 euro cent, I loosen this 500,000. Like this. So, Eero, did you have 1 euro cent? I also didn't. So look, when you want high denominations, you go to the high rollers, and when you want to get 1 cent, which was your position in this exercise?
400.
Yeah, so you were the last guy here.
Yeah.
See. So this demonstration is there to show you guys that whenever you have a mission and you need somebody to kind of coordinate, help you with the mission, figure out whether it is the top talent or top quantity in something that you need, or whether it is, you know, the lower ranking people. It's hard to explain, but I hope that you sort of actually get it, because the mission statement itself seldom tells you like which one you need to approach. But if you approach the wrong people, or let's say wrong type of people, then it is for sure you don't get the mission done. You wouldn't find a 1-cent coin from me, like, you know, no matter how much you tried. So approaching me if you want to find a 1-cent coin is just stupid. It is equally stupid as trying to find a 500 from a person who doesn't have it.